JMats here, GenerationD20.com, and bringing you a 8-4 RtR draft here in a minute. And, I'm gonna get a chance to play with a card I've never played before. I've played against this guy or girl, don't really know, and have lost. Repeat populate seems like a lot of fun. The life gain is huge. Other cards in the pack that kind of stand out: Street Spasm. I've started many good drafts with that card. The Skymark, it's also good. Common Bond, Void Wielder. It's a pretty solid pack, but I think clearly the strongest card is the Mythic Rare. Now what that does do is solidify me into one specific deck type. So we'll have to see about that. The real question is the Justicar's ability better than these alternatives, which are more in with a populate deck theme? I'm leaning towards Eyes in the Skies. I can probably pick up a Centaur's Herald at some point. That's a close one. Maybe I go with the Herald. You really do want an early token if you're doing a populate deck. And unfortunately, I got an Eyes in the Skies there. Now the other thing there, Knightly Valor. I will sometimes play that in a heavy populate deck, just another token generator. I prefer Security Blockade as a way to get that token, but I will play Knightly Valor if necessary. Now on this one, Trostani's Judgment. If you can live to see it, is one of the most effective removal spells in the format. And the populate isn't irrelevant. That sometimes leads to a 2-for-1. So the second Herald, that just, again, helps out with that early, you have to get a token made. Call the Concord, or whatever it is my preferred way to do it. Out of this, probably the Azorius Charm. I don't see myself splashing for it, but if something real powerful comes up in blue, I don't mind going 3 colors, going Bant. And Azorius Charm is great as far as just slowing another deck. I've won games off of the lifelink part of it, and I've won games off of the attacking or blocking creature onto the top of its owner's library. And being able to draw a card, that's, always an option as well. Well, here have some interesting choices. Prediction. There are a lot of flyers in the format. Could be good. I kind of like Soul Tithe, and especially in a deck like this where you don't necessarily have something going on turn 2. Especially if they, I don't know, 2 casting cost, 3 casting cost, something worthwhile, and they don't want to pay for it for a while. Guildgate's pretty good. Sunspire Griffin's also pretty good. I think I'd rather take the flyer at this point. I'm kind of thinking we go 2 colors, and in that case we don't need a whole lot of mana fixing. But we'll see. I like the 2/3 body. There are enough 2/2 flyers out there. It does make a difference. Security blockade. That works well with our plan. And right now, populate stuff seems to be on the high end. Common bond. You know, truth be told, I was gonna say, I don't know if you really want that on tokens, but if I'm gonna bounce a token anyway, you know, yeah, you lose it one way or you lose it the other. I guess the plus of putting it on an actual creature is if they choose to bounce it, you at least still have a creature. So maybe I target the Griffin or something like that. I don't think any of those decks are making anyone's, or any of those cards are making anyone's deck, but we'll take the Chemist's Trick. I've played it before, and it's not awful. In the right situation, it can be like the card to break through for a win. Excuse me, I'm chowing down on popcorn. Hungry afternoon today. And not much coming up for the cards. Really kind of going slow. I blame... let's go with Ghani, since you didn't just spell your name normal. I hold that sort of thing against people. And I, in my opinion, think I should. Destroy the evidence, why not? Get rid of that. Yeah, I don't recognize any of these names as like, oh, there's pro player XYZ who's gonna kick my butt. But I don't know if that should make me feel better or worse when I inevitably lose. Downsize, that's playable. Rarely do you get a playable on 14. I mean, not highly playable, but I've had success with it. And in a Selesnya deck, or a Bant deck where you're pretty creature intensive, you can have much more success with it. Okay, so what's next? What's next for our pack? What do we really need? We need probably some root board defenses, eyes in the skies. I'd take another judgment. I'd take like a rest. I'd love a guild mage. So all of those would play into what we want to be doing. The crazy thing is this one 3 and tap to populate, whereas my guild mage is 4 but no tap, which is part of why it's so broken. I would think if you built in that tap as part of it, we could have made that card much more balanced. Not that they always seem to want balance. Sometimes they just want severely overpowered cards that make people lose. I'm looking at you, Pack Rat. Right at you. I've been watching some videos of people who get Pack Rat, and it's not even enjoyable to watch. Like, they get the Pack Rat, and then all good plays and decisions and everything are out the window, and they just like I don't know, stumble around until they get that card and then they win. Stab Wound. Another Sunspire Griffin. Or this guy. That guy can be a real pain. I'd be willing to take Stab Wound. I don't think I'm splashing for it, but if I don't get any removal, and it would really stink to have Stab Wound placed on, I don't know, Tristani or something, where I'm losing 2 life. Although I could populate every turn to probably gain that back. But there are certainly other situations on a Sunspire Griffin or whatever where Stab Wound just sucks. And I do have an Overgrown Tomb as a way to splash black. Could go with another Soul Tithe or the more aggressive creature, but you know, sometimes I'm also in it for the money. And after the set's gone for a while, all of these lands are going to skyrocket up in value again because they're just that good. And they're going to be good in Modern. I mean, basically all people play in Modern for a long time, so. But I think even in the second year of Standard, when people are playing whatever's after this and aren't opening these packs all the time, they'll go up a little bit. It's just my thought. And if along the way I can play a Stab Wound or two because of it, well, so be it. Could go ahead and hide the charm. If I do splash for Stab Wounds, multiple Stab Wounds, then I'm not going to be splashing for blue. You know, my biggest beef with Stab Wound is it costs 3, which is the same cost for Centaur's Herald, same cost for Security Blockade. It's not filling the part of the curve that I want, but I really probably should stop eating, at least when I'm trying to do a podcast. It's not really a podcast. I don't know why I would describe it that way. But I don't know if anyone really does podcasts anymore. Almost all of them have, you know, vodcasts never really caught on. Ooh, perfect. That is the exact card that I want for this deck. Even better than the Herald. Gives me something to do on turn 2. And get a Guild Mage. And what was that? 4th pick? So green-white must be pretty open. And I'm surprised how open black is. 2 Stab Wounds in a row. Especially considering that I haven't cut black at all. I'm back to eating. That didn't last long, did it? Okay. At some point, the question becomes, how do I win with the deck that I'm building? Because I could take this if I need to splash into those colors. I hate Dramatic Rescue against my Populate decks. So how do I win? Early on, I buy time with Soul Tithe, Stab Wounds, what have you. I'll eventually get out one of these guys and generate or get out him, not one of these guys. Get out Tristani and populate forever. But let's say I don't draw Tristani. How do I win then? In that case, I'm going to need some other tricks. There's another Centaur's Herald, but in this case, I think I want the Eyes and Skies. Gives me another chance to populate. It's now 3 cards that have populate. 3 instants that have populate. 4 cards, since Tristani can do it repeatedly. You know, the tapping is enough that it makes you susceptible to even paralyzing grasp. It's just interesting how those little things will be built into some cards. Okay. Teleportal is going to work well for someone. We'll go with Druid's Deliverance. It can be a swing. I've had many games in this format where whoever went first is going to win just because they have one attack before the other person. And seeing something like Teleportal, you know what shuts down Teleportal? Druid's Deliverance. Settler of Songbirds works. Another way to make tokens. It's not really what I want to do with my turn 3, but if I don't have any tokens, I want to start to get my populate on, and it works. Also, is very effective in this when stalling. I wish I had a little bit more than I was stalling for. I could take the Guildgate. I could take the Horncaller's Chant. That's kind of my high-end thing. I think I'll take the Guildgate just in case I get some more Azorius cards that I want to consider. Okay, so right now I'm at 15 cards. And I'll take the Axebane Stag. I'm not against running 1 or 2 just big ass creatures on the high end. Now with this deck, would I probably be better off with Horncaller's Chant? Yeah, probably. But Horncaller's Chant can't attack through the Stag. Towering What's His Butt is good. Swift Justice. I like that. Foil land. And there's the secret weapon that my opponent doesn't get to play. And I don't see that guy making even my collection. It just gets deleted from my account every time I pick it. Okay, so we're at 18 cards that are playable. And wouldn't mind a Golgari Guildgate. Okay, Deathrite Shaman. I don't know what he sells for right now. I kind of have to take him. Again, a multi-format powerhouse. Those happen to work with my deck. Wild Beastmaster. I have the common bond. Don't have a whole lot else to use with him. Drudge Beetle would help fill in my curve better. Probably have to go with that. Could go the key rune. That actually might make more sense. This would be another black source. It's at 3, which I don't love, but fix my colors as much as I can. Speaking of which, Expand Guardian, that's always good. For fixing colors. And both abilities can be relevant. So now in this pack, I'd probably take the Selesnya Guildgate. I'm at 21. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 token generators. So I'm actually closer to 14 creatures instead of 9 creatures. This, I'm kind of thinking I have to go with the Arrestor. I'm going to need something early game. I would like a Giant Growth. I'd like the Key Rune, but the Arrestor gives me a 2-drop. Expand Guardian again. What would I use all that mana on? That's kind of my question. Common Bond is pretty powerful. Surprise tactic. Here, there's a Guildgate. There's a more effective 7 casting cost creature. I kind of like that guy. I could see me playing with it. Apparition definitely has enough upside to take it. I might be able to thin my deck of some of these less powerful cards. Another Centaur's Herald. Healed. Centaur's healed. Centaur's Herald. Aerial Predation versus that. At this point, probably would take the Aerial Predation. A little bit better off at the 2-drops now. And in a lot of ways, this is just going to be a 3rd turn deck. That's okay as long as you know your identity. Okay, it's Vigilance plus Reach and Trample. I think I'll take the Aerial Predation again. Judge is familiar. Why not? Another Key Rune. That one's actually interesting since I might want to ramp. So what those guys do give me is another win condition. And to some degree I have to ask myself, when I'm playing, what card am I hoping to draw to help me win? So I know I want these guys. And the Guardian. And the Indrik. I know I want my Shaman. The Conclave. Tristani. Pretty sure I want that. Let's take both of those. Stab wounds will slow them significantly. Judgment, Eyes in the Skies, the Griffin, the Songbird, the Blockade. Here's where it gets a little bit more interesting. I could do like Arrestor and Apparition. I'd be in support of those. And then, where are we at my turn? Something like common bond, double common bond, swift justice. Swift justice gives you the life link. Life gain can be important. Aerial predation just takes them out altogether. Soul tie can be an answer. Or something like this that populates. What would I boost? I have enough 3/3s that getting up to 4 is relevant. However I do it. Oops. Get the Gildegate and the Tomb. See what they suggest. I don't need 3, that's for sure. Okay, I can live with that. So what that actually breaks down to ends up looking kind of like this. Should have a turn 1 play. Oops. Should have a turn 3 play. This one's a little bit more situational. That one's certainly sitting back. Don't have a ton of removal, but I do have a lot going on. This guy could be a good finisher. This guy could be a good finisher. This guy could extend the game forever. Okay. That's the deck. I'm sticking with it. We'll see you in round 1. Let me know what you'd change about it.